Hello, hello, hello. Look at you, you gorgeous buggers. Oh, lovely, lovely. Today I'm just going to talk about random shit. I've never done this before. I'll probably get better. Just let me roll with it, because I haven't written any scripts for it or anything. I'm just sat at my desk. I got some coffee. JJ's locked up in a cage because he's a twat and nobody likes him. Thinks he's better than everybody else, and he fucked another goat this morning. The ones that I milk. So yeah. And he literally fucking milks them himself with his mouth. The dirty bastard. Yeah. So he's in his cage, and I just keep throwing stale fucking water on him. You know, every now and then I'll walk out, smack his cage with a stick. You know, wake him up, because I don't like him to sleep and get any rest. I like him to just feel exhausted all the time. This is a little bastard. And then, if he starts to fall to sleep, even when I'm hitting my sticks against cage, I'll throw some stale piss on him. You know, you know what it's like. That's how it is with JJ. Little shit, isn't he? Aye, little shit. So yeah, I'm just going to talk about movies that I've watched this month. Go into detail about them. There might be spoilers. But yeah, I'll warn you before I go into spoilers. If I go into spoilers first, send me a hate message saying, "Movie Massacre, you fucking prick, you spoiled that film for me." I'm just gonna have some coffee. Oh, lovely, my little hocus pocus cup. Yes, I'm going to talk about the movies. I'm going to talk about are Frankenhooker, a film called Fresh, Prey, the recent Predator film. Ginger Dead Man vs. Evil Bong, which I'll be having a review out on that September or October. I'll go into detail what I'm going to be doing over the Halloween period. I said period. Evil Bong 3. I'm going to talk about why I like Halloween 6, which is the most hated, the most diverse movie in the Halloween franchise. And Baby Upset. I want to tell you about Baby Upset and why you should see it. And the new Killer Clowns game looks pretty good. And also Sonic 2. I like gaming. I'm a big gamer. And I recently watched that film, so I'll be talking about that as well. And I'll also go through what I want from Halloween Ends. And the Hellraiser movie. I'm also going to talk about the new Hellraiser film, because I'm a massive Hellraiser fan. I'll just do it now. The franchise sucks, doesn't it? The first one's really good. To me, the film's subjective anyway, so yeah. I really like the first film. It's amazing. It's a landmark movie for practical effects for that time. With the Cenobites look incredible. They look like kinky bastards, don't they? They look very fucking kinky. You know, they like a bit of fucking bondage, especially Pinhead. So how the hell does he go mouth to mouth with those pins on his head? A bit of coffee, but you know they like pain as well, so he probably sinks his pins into the head while he's probably finger blasting him. You may hear my cats as well. Yeah. Wee who's my guy? But yeah, the first one's amazing, and it's not. Hello, Weasley, my sexy boy. How are you? Hey? It's not really about horror like the Cenobites themselves, which is why the first one stands out to me. It's a very gothic movie. It's a love story between Frank and Julia. And, you know, they find the box and whatnot, but the Cenobites only come into it right at the end. They're an afterthought in the film. It's based on those and how that box can suck you in and indulge you in otherworldly pleasures, and that's what Frank does. He gets brought back to life for it, and Julia loves him, doesn't she? So she kills people for him in order to bring her love back. But then Frank goes fucking crazy and takes his brother's skin, his meat suit, is to say, and then the last act, that's when the Cenobites come into it. And Clive Barker never intended Pinhead to, you know, be Pinhead and be the lead Cenobite like the franchise later on down the line he did. That's because they wanted to lean more into the slasher genre, like your big 80s icons like, you know, Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers. Clive Barker never wanted that to be. He just wanted the Cenobites to be the Cenobites as a group, not have a standout one. But I guess because of how unique he looked, he did look fucking great. The other ones looked amazing too. They looked phenomenal, but Pinhead really stood out, and he doesn't like the character to be called Pinhead. He likes him to be called the Hell Priest, which he's been very vocal about. Yeah, it's an amazing film, the first one, and if you haven't seen it, please check it out. These practical effects, they have not aged well at all. It's a product of its time, really. But it's a film that I really, really appreciate, and I like its gothic tone, and that it's not a generic. I don't mean generic as in any offence to the others. Not a generic slasher. It's got a lot of intellect to it as well. It's amazing, and there's such a big world to explore. They kind of hit up on some of that on Hellraiser 2 when they went into, you know, the labyrinth thing with the lament configuration, the Leviathan. It looks good. It looks good, and I did appreciate the second one. I felt like it still had its roots from the first film, and again, Pinhead had a little bit more of a role. He was talking more in it, probably because he stood out more, but still, that you can tell that wasn't the intention for them to have Pinhead as a major icon, and it still was an intellectual property at the time. And, you know, spoilers alert, Pinhead and the Cenobites die in it, and they get killed, I believe, midway through. It's a while since I've watched it. Just gonna have some coffee. Like 9 AM. I'm a little tired, because last night we went to a podcast you should check out called Let's Not Meet. It's amazing. And he talks about real life horror stories. And we watched him live. Fucking great show. Check his podcast out. And what was I saying? Yeah, Hellraiser 2. It's pretty similar to the first, just a little more on the horror side to it, with the Cenobites and the deaths, and the practical effects are better in this one, even though there's not a big gap between the two films when they got made. And the practical effects, I think, they're better for me. They are better for me. Is it a better film than the first one? No, but it's very close. It is very close. Excuse me. And I feel like those two, to me, a perfect companion piece to each other. And I feel like the rest after that, I don't mean it in an offensive manner, they get heavily Americanized after Hellraiser 1 and Hellraiser 2. Because this is when they thought, oh, we can make Pinhead into a major horror icon. And then they made Hellraiser Hell on Earth, where the centerpiece of the movie was Pinhead. And he wasn't the center of the first and the second movie. He was just a Cenobite. And he comes to Earth on his own. It's, you know, for a Hellraiser movie, it depends on what you like. Do you like your slasher version of Pinhead, or do you like Pinhead not being the center and it being more story based, like the first and the second one, where people wanna get those otherworldly pleasures from the box? And that's what the first and second one are about. It's just about the exploration of those worlds. And the second one isn't. Instead, I feel like they go backwards. They go backwards a step. In the second one, they go into the labyrinth that is the hell world, and they explore only a little bit of that, which leaves you wanting more. You want them to explore more in it, right? Well, then they just go backwards. Instead of us venturing further into that world in Hellraiser 3, they get lazy. For me personally, they get lazy because they just want to turn him into a horror icon. Because, you know, the bigwigs have gone, oh shit, we have to keep this guy up with Freddy and Jason and Michael Myers, so let's turn this Cenobite into the main thing, and we'll just bring him into Earth instead of exploring the world that he's from. And they bring him to Earth. It's a good slasher, but for me, as a Hellraiser film, it's not very good. But if I shut my mind off and watch it, I do enjoy it for what it is. I do enjoy it. It's not a bad film. It's not a bad film by any means. It's just, for me, it's a bad Hellraiser film, if you understand what I'm saying. It's still imaginative to some point, with, like, you know, when they bring Pinhead out and it's just causing hell on Earth. It is what it is. It's got some awesome Motorhead tracks in it as well, and I do like it feels more comic booky than the first two films. I feel like it's got a big gothic tone to it. With the Cenobite, especially with the Cenobites in the third film, like, there's the guy that throws CDs at people. It's like, come on, dude. I don't even think the CDs would pierce anybody. Instead of them going straight into your skin, it just crack against you, and you're just like, it's that feeling where you hit your knee on the floor, and you're like Family Guy when Peter Griffin's going, oh, holding his knee. It'd be that effect. The CD just hit you in the face or the leg, and you'd be like, ah, why did you do that for, you dickhead? There's just stuff like that, and it's very comic booky, but I did enjoy it. It was good. And then I felt like with Hellraiser 4, it kind of went back. It's a hated one. It is a hated one, but I enjoy it. I do. I feel like it goes back to its dark, gothic, very cold roots. It feels cold when you're watching it, and I think that's the tone that... Hello, wee wee. My cat feel like that. That's the tone that they wanted for it. And you know, most horror icons, when they've run out of ideas, go to space. So what do they do? Well, come on, mate. Push her up. Come on, push him into space. We'll do that. Let's push Pinhead into space. And that's what they did. But it still was, I felt, kind of went back to its very gothic roots, because it tries to explain where the laminate configuration box comes from. And I don't want to spoil it for you if you haven't seen it. But, oh, fuck it if I say the spoilers. I do. Send me a hate message. I can take it. There's a toy maker. I forgot his name because I'm just winging it at the minute. It's on the tip of my tongue, but whatever. And yeah, this evil toy maker creates the box, and he creates multiple boxes, and it shows you throughout time different time periods of things that happen and whatnot. I'm not going to tell you what happens in between, but then it cuts to modern day. Because at the end of Hellraiser 3, you know, she defeats Pinhead, she throws the box into like a building site where there's lots of concrete, and she just throws the box into the concrete. But what she doesn't know is it's a massive building site where this architect has architected a building that mimics the Hellraiser box. So, you know, Pinhead's going to fucking appear there. When it shows you at the end of Hellraiser 3, you know, something's going to happen with that in Hellraiser 4. And it does. The guy in modern day is an ancestor of the guy that created the laminate configuration. And Pinhead, I forgot how, it's been a long time, but yeah, they end up meeting and he wants to kill him, blah 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 blah. And spoiler alert, Pinhead does kill him. It's like a battle throughout history between the toy maker and Pinhead and his Cenobites. And this battle's gone on throughout time, and then it leads to space. It goes further into the future. We're in space. The toy maker's ancestors there, and they have a battle on a space station. But what Pinhead doesn't know is that it's created this space station to mimic the box, and it's going to finally defeat Pinhead for good, and it does. I forgot what year it is, but it's set way into the future, so they can still make Hellraiser movies set before that, just any time. Which I think is bollocks, to be honest, because you know how it ends. They should have just made this film last, in my opinion, or ended it there. But it's still got its gothic, cold roots to it. The deaths are fucking brutal, you sexy bastards. If you haven't seen it, check it out. I don't think it's as bad as people say it is. I do think it's very underrated. And it's got some very creative Cenobites in it. There's even this dog Cenobite, like a chatter. It's a bit like Chatterer. Its mouth's going na 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 like Chatterer does, which looks fucking great. The Cenobites do look great. I remember collecting the figures of those when I was younger. I really like. One of the reasons for me is why I like the Hellraiser franchise, even the bad ones, is the creativity of the Cenobites and how they look. It's phenomenal. Whenever I watch a new Hellraiser film, one of my main curiosities is what are these new Cenobites going to look like if they have them. I really like seeing them. But even though I have the fuck me, how much am I going to go? Every time I say have a drink, play a drinking game. Yeah, saying it again. Where was I? Lost my train of thought. Where was I? Let me get my shit together. Gotta drink coffee. Sorry, guys. Oh, lovely. The space station. Pinhead dies. That's his definitive death in the movie franchise, which I think Clive Barker only sees Hellraiser 1 and 2 as his babies. He hates the rest of the films. He wants nothing to do with them. He's been very outspoken about it as well. Then after Hellraiser 4, I believe we get, I forgot Oh, Hellraiser Inferno. You know what? This is looked down on. It comes straight out on DVD. It was a script that was written for a different film, but they just chucked Pinhead in it. But it is good. It is a good little movie. Is it the weakest of the four? Probably. But it's good. It's like it's a detective movie. This guy is figuring out, like, what the fuck's going on here. There's people getting skinned. And it's more of a noir type movie, but with Pinhead in it. He's trying to figure out what's happening. And he does. Then he finds out that then at the end he finds out he's just in his own personal hell because he did something really bad I'm not going to tell you about, and Pinhead's just torturing him. Yeah, his life's going around in circles. It's interesting. Pinhead's only in it for about 20 seconds, but the reveal's good. It's a good film if you just shut off. The one after that, this is where they get bad. The one after that brings Kirsty Cotton back from Hellraiser 1 and 2. I believe it's this one. I'm not sure if I'm doing it in the right order because there's like 50 million Hellraiser films. Kirsty Cotton just basically does what she does in the first film, but it ruins her character for me. She becomes, not what a character was. A badass survivor. She actually frames her husband for murder, I believe. If I'm wrong, let me know. And yeah, she just trades souls again like she does in the first one. Kills her husband and goes back into hiding. It's a terrible film. Terrible film. I wouldn't even suggest watching it, if I'm honest with you. But if you're curious on thinking that it's going to be good because Kirsty's back, it's awesome. I would like this is fucking great. Kirsty Cotton's back. His original final girl. It's going to be great. No, dear me, no, it wasn't. It was like watching my most hated film is Hellraiser Resurrection. It was like watching Hellraiser Resurrection, the first fucking 10 to 15 minutes of that. So what the fuck are you doing? It's awful. It made me vomit. Made me vomit all over JJ. I just beat the shit out of him and puked all over him. It's a piece of shit. There's one called Hellworld. Hellworld? I thought it was good. I believe it's Henry Cavill, Superman, his first film. Lance Henriksen's in it. It is a generic 2000s movie. It's The Box, if it was a game. And people get invited to this house to play this game. Pinhead just goes on a generic slasher run through everybody. There's nothing special about it. It's just Pinhead going around being a fucking thug, stabbing people and whatnot. And that's about it. It's not bad. I believe for me it's one of the better sequels from Hellraiser 4 and onwards. Then they did Hellraiser Deader. For me, that was terrible. It was a long film. And again, Pinhead's only in it for a few seconds. It's about a cult this time that worship the Cenobites. And then, shit and shoes at the end and he just kills everybody. That's it. It's bollocks. It's bollocks. It's wank. And what was after that? Oh my days! You've seen my review of this one, Hellraiser. What was it fucking called? Hellraiser Shitfest. Oh, this one's terrible. I've even forgot the name. Let me Google it. Give me a second. This is how bad this film is. I'm just gonna Google this bollocks. Hellraiser movies. No, it's that bad. I even forgot the name. It's not Judgment, is it? Hellraiser movies. Let's have a goosey gander. Hellraiser franchise. Wouldn't call it much of a fucking franchise after part 2, but Inferno. There we go. Revelations. I'm sorry about. Oh my goodness, this movie's terrible. It's awful. Right, Hellraiser Revelations was a movie. They made this just because they was going to lose the rights to the franchise. And I think every sequel bar Hellraiser 4 was also made for that reason. So they quickly made it. They found an old script and just threw Pinhead in it. This one is the worst of the worst. It took 11 days to make it. They offered... Doug Bradley's claimed that they offered him the price of a fucking fridge. It would cost to buy a fridge, so he told them to shove it. They made Revelations with a bargain version of Pinhead. It looks like they bought the costume from a fucking Halloween store. It's so bad. Stay away I'll do you a favour. Stay away from it. Don't watch it. Wipe it from your mind. This movie is... It's like, you know, when you've been on a night out, one of those nights out when you're in your early 20s or teens, and you've eaten too much, you've drank too much, and you just puke and shit all over your bathroom. I love it, toilet, right? That's Hellraiser Revelations. It's just not pleasant. It's worse than having a kidney stone. And I've had kidney stones. But after that they made Hellraiser Judgment, which I felt like it was a step forward. They got a different guy to play Pinhead again, right? It was good. I felt like he put effort into it. His look was really good as well. And I don't believe in those that kind of thing where people say, oh, it's not my Pinhead, Doug Bradley's not playing him. I think variety is the spice of life. You get different versions of things. That's great. It doesn't ruin a franchise. You can always go back and watch the other movies. Like, it's an unpopular opinion, but I actually really like the Halloween remake and the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. The originals are always going to be there. It's like comic books, isn't it? There's different variations of characters, and that's what you get on film. And I really like that. You get more from it. It's like an alternate version of a character that you can watch. And I like that. I really like it. And with Judgment, it's a step in the right direction for the sequels. It goes into what it's never gone into before, heaven and hell. And they're both battling each other, which is very interesting. And I think you should check it out. I don't want to spoil too much for this one, because there's a lot of interesting things in it. And I think it's a 2018 movie, so you may not have even seen it yet. Some people think it's garbage. I like the direction it went, because it feels more like an original story that they've put effort into, that they've put love into. You can tell they've put love into it, but it was low budget, and they've done what they can. And that was the last of the original Hellraiser franchise. And now there's a new movie coming up on Hulu, and I believe it's Jamie Clayton playing Pinhead. And in the books, I believe Pinhead is genderless. And I also feel like it's a step in the right direction to get a woman to play Pinhead. And Jamie Clayton used to be male. Now, you know, she's changed. She's a woman now, and I'm really excited to see a woman play Pinhead. And I originally thought this was going to be a TV series, because they are making a TV series that the original creator, Clive Barker, is also attached to. And he's also attached to the movie. I'm not sure if it's going to have the same Pinhead in both, or they're going to be separate properties. But the new one looks great. I know Pinhead looks the same as what he does in the movies, because in the teaser trailer you do get a slight glimpse of Jamie Clayton as Pinhead. She looks great. It is the pins, it's not like what he is in the comic, in the books, where he's got jewels and stuff. So I know people were looking forward to it going to its original roots, to Clive Barker's books, but it looks like they're going the movie route again, and I'm very excited with that. But what's interesting about this is, I've researched it and read up that it's not going to be the same story as the original film. It's going to be a fresh story, and it's also been rated R, which I'm excited about, for sexual violence, horrific gore, and I've read that the Cenobites look phenomenal in this. They look brutal. I'm really hoping that they kind of look like the Tortured Souls toy line. They looked amazing. It's very exciting time for Hellraiser fans. We've got a lot of stuff coming up for this year's Halloween season, and I believe Hellraiser comes out on the 7th of October, and I can't wait. I'll be reviewing that for my patrons, for you beautiful bastards. I can't wait. It's brilliant. But yeah, that's my views on Hellraiser and the new movie. So I recently watched Frankenhooker too. Yeah, I've never seen it. I have done a review on it. I know you've seen it. I did a review on that. I was recently at Crypticon with my buddies Horror Addicts, Dan from Horror Addicts and Gory B Movie. Husband and wife, they're beautiful people, both of them. I love them both so much. They're both amazing. I'm really happy to have them as friends. They've made my life better in a very positive way. And they introduced me to Frankenhooker as well. And it's now my favourite horror film. It's amazing. It's exactly what I want from the film. It's got a dark undertone to it, but sprinkles comedy all over it. And the comedy's great. It is dark. It's a sex film, isn't it? This guy, Jeffrey Franken, he makes a lawnmower for his wife. For his wife, and then she gives it her dad. And she's retarded. It just runs her over because she gets the remote control and it runs her over. And then Jeffrey Franken's like, shit, my bride-to-be's dead. What do I do now? And he's like, I know, hookers. He goes to a whorehouse after he's collected the remaining parts of his missus up. And he just gets all these hookers into this room. But beforehand, he notices that they like crack. So he makes super crack that makes them explode. He gives them all he measures them first. He's like, looks at the legs and measures them. He's like, oh, clean shaven. And then he gives them all super crack. They explode. He takes all of their body parts, puts them together, makes his missus. His missus has forgot who he is when he brings her to life. So she goes around on the streets, fucking anybody, killing them. Jeffrey Franken finds her again, takes her back, and she comes back to normal. She's got a memory back, but she looks different. And Weasley, my baby boy, what are you doing? He's playing. Wait, my baby boy. He's so sexy. You should see him. Oh, beautiful. You might hear two cats battling and playing. But yeah, what I'm saying, yeah, they kill the pimp daddy. But Jeffrey Franken dies, doesn't he, if you haven't seen the film, and she puts him back, and he's got his dong missing. He's like, where's my Johnson? He's talking to me. It's fucking brilliant, I love it. Fuck me, if you ever get a chance to watch it, please do. It's my all-time favourite of all time. And it's a film that I'm going to be doing for Halloween. I hopefully have got Dan from Horror Addicts and Gory B Movie doing the facts on it, on Gingerbread Man vs Evil Bong. I recently watched it. It's one of those films that it's low budget, but it's the right kind of low budget. They understand that it's low budget. You alright, mate? Hey? They understand that it's low budget, and they don't take it too seriously. And the reason why I don't like a lot of Wild Eye movies is the low budget films, right? A lot of them try to be better than what they are, and it doesn't work. If you're low budget, just understand that and just roll with it. And that's what the Evil Bong movies and the Gingerbread Man movies do for me. They're all loving. You either love them or hate them. I love them. I absolutely adore them. And to see these two fight each other, it's not taken seriously. Like Freddy versus Jason, this big battle to the death. You can clearly tell that they don't give a shit who wins. They just have fun with it. It's very, very fun, and I will have a review out on that in September or early October. So that's one of the movies that I'm going to be doing over Halloween. And my father's coming over, and I'm going to travel with him through October. I'm hoping to get near Halloween, get a Night of the Living Dead. Excuse me. One out as well, and I'll also be uploading the movie to Patreon for you guys while commentating over it, so we can hang out and watch that for Halloween, which will be great. And I'll also be on Gory B Movies channel sometime in, I believe it's September. Myself, Drum Dums and Gory will be talking about Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. We all love it. A lot of people hate it, but we're going to defend it and discuss why we like it so much. And I'll also be doing that for you in a few minutes, I guess. And then, I want to talk about, Evil Bong 3. I also went through the Evil Bong franchise, yeah. But all the movies I enjoyed, it's one of those franchises where it all rolls into one. I can't really remember which one's which, but I know that I enjoyed it. The one that did stick out was Evil Bong 3, because I thought it was fucking garbage. It just lacks what the others have. It's not funny to me like the other ones are. I don't know. I can't explain it. It's just different for me. Even though it's similar in tone to the others, I just didn't like it. But it is what it is, And that's free on Tubi, so you can check that out if you like. What I wanted to talk about was Baby Oopsie. It's a full moon movie. Fucking brilliant. It's the baby from Demonic Toys, if you've seen that. It's a spin-off film. It's really, really fucking good. And if I can find it somewhere, I'll post a link for you so you can watch it. It takes the piss out of child's play, this killer, this YouTuber thing she's got. She fixes toys. Some guy randomly sends her a doll and she fixes it up and it comes to life. And she gets bullied a lot. She's had some hard times in her life. She gets bullied, and this baby's like, I'm not having this. I'm not having these bully you. So people start to die around her, and then she realizes that the doll's alive. They become friends, and they plan on killing people that upset her, and they do that. They kill people, and the doll starts to get nasty and out of hand because the doll needs to kill people to stay alive, right? And it starts to kill people that she loves. Before they picked out who they wanted to kill, and now this doll's picking anybody in its sight to stay alive, and it kills loved ones. So at the end they have this big battle, blah 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 blah. I won't tell you what happens at the end because I want to review it. I want to do a proper, well, I want to commentate on the film while reviewing it. 'Cause I don't do full reviews. I just commentate on what happens, and then, midway through, I'll talk about what's happened, how I feel about it, and at the end, I'll do a summary. And we will be doing that at some point. So I'm excited for you to hear about that. And here's a non-horror one because I like gaming. Sonic 2, fucking loved it. So much fun. It's mindless fun. It's got multiple plot holes, but that doesn't matter because it's supposed to be just mindless fun. It's gonna have plot holes. You just sit and enjoy it. You just switch off. It's really fucking good. If you like gaming, old school gaming, Sonic's for you. It has a really cool sequence at the end where it recaps everything that's happened in the old effects of the old Sega game, and it looks amazing. It's a good film. Sonic's in it, obviously. Saw something JJ, I'd say, you little prick. Knuckles is in it, and it's great to see him on screen. Tails is in it. There is a big spoiler at the end showing you a new big bad. So there's going to be a Sonic 3, and I'm excited for that because I like the franchise. I like the games. It's an exciting time to be a Sonic fan. I'm really excited for that. And I want to talk about, with Halloween ends coming up. I want to talk about Halloween. I really enjoyed the original. One of the reasons I enjoyed it is not because of Michael himself, it's because I'm a big score fan. I love the score to Halloween. It's incredible, it's phenomenal. I feel like with Halloween, it's one of those films where if you watched it without the Halloween score in particular, it wouldn't be as good, it wouldn't feel as good. I feel like one of the reasons why that movie is so successful is because of the score that's written for it, right? Michael's scary, but I think for me the first film is great, but I don't hold it as on a standard as like a lot of people do, but I understand why they do. I liked it, and I'm not going to talk about Halloween 2. I'm going to talk about Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills and Ends. So you get that, and I'm going to talk about why I don't think Laurie's a good final girl and why I believe she's overrated. Like in Halloween, she just runs around screaming. She doesn't defeat Michael. Dr. Loomis does, and like a grown woman. I believe I was speaking to this with Danny and Haley, Gory and Horror Addicts. She's a grown woman. Why would you say to a child, and a child says, what was that? And she just says, it was the boogeyman. What kind of a grown fucking woman says it was a boogeyman? It's a killer in a mask. A killer in a mask killed all my friends. This is shit. It's bollocks. His doctor's just as fucking crazy, Dr. Loomis. I shot him 6 times. Fuck me, that guy's crazy. And then, years later, Halloween 2018 happened. Laurie's now a fucking nut job. She's got PTSD, and this is the other reason why, to me, I don't think she's a good final girl. To me, if she was a good final girl, she'd be a hard ass. She wouldn't have suffered from what is done to her. She'd be hardened from it. She'd be more of a like Sarah Connor style badass and a Ripley style badass. Less of a victim, more of a... Sorry about that, it just cut out. I don't know where I were, but let's go for it again. Halloween. In this new one, that's what I was going with. I see like final girls as badasses when they're more hardened, like your Ripplers and your Sarah Connors. She's more victimised in this one. She's an alcoholic. She's got PTSD. She wants shit to kill Michael. She's prepared. She's prepared for him, right, with the house. She's a nut job, but she thinks he's stalking her. You find out she wasn't stalking her all along. Dr. Sartain kind of puts them together, but she kicks his ass. She kicks his ass all over at the end, which I do appreciate, right? I like Halloween 2018. I'll just say that. It's a good film. I'm not going to go into it too much because I'm building up to what I want to happen in Halloween Ends. Then Kills happens, doesn't it? I love my Michael Myers when he's brutal, like in Curse of Michael Myers. He fucking brutalises everybody. Throws them left, right and centre, ripping dicks off, melting faces. It's amazing in that film. I want him to be scary. I want him to be intimidating, which is the reason why I really like Rob Zombie's films. He's a brutal motherfucker. And I just like him. He's brutal. I find him more believable as a killer when he's like that. Where was I going with it? Yeah, that's what he's like in Halloween Ends. Halloween Kills. It just brutalises everybody. Yes, people don't like the mob mentality thing, but I think it was meant to be that way. Because it was a commentary on how toxic horror fandom is with this mob mentality. And it just points that out. That's all it does, and I think it's justified. There's a lot of, especially around now, there's a lot of negativity in the. So I'm just going to drink coffee. I'm losing my train of thought. Lovely. A lot of negativity in the horror community with these Halloween films, where films haven't even been released and people are already saying, "Oh, this film sucked." You can't say that if you haven't seen it. I'm sorry. You might, if you think every film sucks, go and write for Hollywood, and then you can comment on it. Write movies, then come back and say if it sucks. If you're saying that a film sucks before it's even made, because you're not a horror fan if you do that, in my opinion. You're just negatively knocking things just for your own ego. He brutalises everybody in Kills, which I really, really like. There's a bit of comedy in it as well, which, I appreciate comedy. And then Halloween Ends. What do I want from Halloween Ends? The death of Karen at the end made me feel awful. One of the few that liked Karen, because I felt like she was there for the viewer. She was the viewer. She's what we would do in that film. She's very in the middle with everything. She wants to do the sensible stuff, and I really like her because she tries to protect that mental patient. And I think that was very heroic of her, knowing that those hundreds of people were coming for her too, and him. Very noble of her. Excuse me. And I liked that. She was my favourite character in that film. And also the score's phenomenal in Halloween 2018, where the shape stalks Alice. Mamma mia, je sais quoi. Oh mi amore. Incredible. And then Halloween Ends. I hope we get a different score like we did we had different scores, separate scores from 2018. Halloween Kills as well. And in Kills they were great, and I hope that happens with this one. And I'm sure it will. What I want to see from this is, I want a definitive end, which I don't think we'll get. I think they'll both kill each other, which I find the fucking cop-out. I think it's bullshit. I want to see Laurie portrayed as a badass final girl. I want in this one to be like, look, you've taken not only my friends when I was young, you've taken my children, you've taken my children's parents, you've taken her friends. I am gonna fuck you up. And I want her to annihilate him. Not even be a close battle, because it's called Ends. It needs to be a fucking brutal end for Michael, where her and Alison absolutely fucking annihilate him, and then it just ends, and that's the end of it. But I know it's set 4 years later from Halloween Kills, right? So there's rumours that they're going to do other films after that, after this. So their story will end, hopefully. But the track record from Halloween, right? So I believe if Blumhouse want to go forwards with making more films, they'll make films set in between the 4-year period. But I think it's the ACADs, the rights go. I've read that the rights go back to them after this, so I'm hoping that they'll go back and make movies set in their timeline, like, you know, from the Halloween 1 to, I believe, H2O. They might do something different with Halloween 4 and 5 and 6 with the Thorn timeline, which I'd love a continuation of the Thorn timeline. I adore Halloween 6. It's my favourite in the franchise. I know it's a lot of people's least favourites, barring Resurrection, because of what it did. But the reason why I like it is people complain it's too strong, it's gone the supernatural route, which I find... I can't say this positively, can I? I find different. It's a different opinion. I like opinions in horror. It's great. That's why I like being in the horror community. And I can see why people don't like it. But I believe in the first one, the second one, and 4 and 5, he is supernatural anyway. He gets shot, he gets stabbed, you know, he has lots of stuff happen to him, and he just keeps getting back up. No normal man can go through that. So I believe it's supernatural to start off with. I think one of the things that people don't like about it is that he's controlled. And I understand that people are like, oh, they want their Michael to be free thinking. And he still is in this. Towards the end, he's like, it depends what version you watch, I guess, but I think it's the theatrical version. You'll have to excuse me. I need to catch up on it for our episode with Gory and Drum Dums. But in one of the versions, it just annihilates them in the surgery room, which is my favourite scene in any Halloween film. You see it from an outsider's point of view. Michael goes into the surgery room. It creates a scene brilliantly. Flashing strobe lighting, blood hitting the wall, the windows, people screaming, and he's annihilating fuckers in that room, left, right, and centre. In that scene, he isn't doing what he usually does, where he stalks and kills. He just walks into the room and starts throwing motherfuckers everywhere, which is why I like the end scene in Halloween Kills so much too. It's Michael against a bunch of people and he just fucking annihilates them. It's like Rocky in Halloween Kills. He's just been beaten down and then like, Loomis, get up you son of a bitch. And he gets back up and he starts knifing motherfuckers left, right and centre and takes them all out. I love it. And I like obscure weird stuff, and I felt like they went that route in Halloween 6 as well, with the stones and him being controlled. I like it. It's still him in his mind. He's still a killer, going around killing people, and that's what he originally does anyway. He just goes around killing people. And I like it. Okay, anybody thinks. I even like the stones things. I like both versions. But I did like the version where, I believe it was the theatrical version, where he chases Jamie, finally gets Jamie at the beginning and throws her into that like farming equipment, and it just fucking rips her to pieces. That's my favourite chase scene in the franchise too, when he's chasing Jamie at the start. And you can tell how tight Michael's tired in that. He's tired. He's so fucking fed up of chasing her from 4 and 5. He's a grown adult in this one. And he doesn't just want to stab her a few times and walk off and leave her for dead. He's thinking, you know what, fuck you bitch, I'm having you. Throws in farming equipment. He doesn't stab her a few times and walks off and leaves her for dead so she can come back later on. He fucking makes sure she's dead. He throws her in that farming equipment, turns it on, mashes her insides up and fucking stands and watches her until she's gone. So she's gone to fucking Noddy Land. He's brutal in that. He's tired. He's like, fuck you, bitch. Kills her. And he's the most intimidating version of Michael. He's so fucking scary. He's a big bastard in this. Big bastard. He's had enough of... He just looks tired. And I like that version of him. In this one, his kills are more brutal than the previous versions. And H2O and Resurrection. He just fucking brutalises everybody he comes across in the house. With the father, I forgot his fucking name. Where I think he electrocutes him, and in one of the versions, his fucking head explodes. It's fucking beautiful. I could make out with that scene. It's gorgeous. And it also makes me feel sympathetic towards people in the family when he's chasing that gentleman's wife through the house. And she's such an innocent character, and I feel really sorry for her. She's genuinely frightened. She's a nice woman, and he kills her with the axe, and you see a blood splatter all over the fucking bedding. Oh, Michael, you brutal bastard, mate. There's no need for that. Leave her alone. It's fucking awesome. And then they get the fucking pervert Paul Rudd, Tommy. I really like Tommy in that. He's a dirty fucking pervert. The first scene we see him in, he's spying on people getting undressed. But yeah. I like sleaze in my films, what can I say? I don't know what else to say about it. It's just brutal. I like it. If you haven't seen it, I think you'll enjoy it. I really do. It's grown in time. It's getting more love through the years, and it's also, for me, got the best Halloween theme to it. The season looks phenomenal in that. It really does. I would have liked to have seen a sequel to that, which they were actually planning. They were going to go more in depth and with the Thorn stuff, which I would have liked, because it gave more depth to the Halloween franchise instead of just who's he stalking this time, this movie. Because after Halloween 3, ignore Halloween 3, take that out. I meant after Halloween 2, it's just stalk and kill. This gave more depth to the franchise, like it or not. It did, and I liked that. I like how fucking weird it was. And then after that, you know, they got rid of that. But there is comic book forms of the Thorn franchise which you can read, which I think are really fucking good. And they end in Laurie Strode comes back into it as well, which is great, with Tommy. And I don't want to spoil it, but if you can, find those comics and read them. They're really fucking good, and it'll put an ending on the Thorn series for you, I believe. But yeah, I want to talk about one more thing about games. Recently we had the Killer Clowns from Outer Space game released. Fucking awesome, right? I believe it comes out on PlayStation, PC and Xbox. The effects are phenomenal on it. They're fucking amazing. It looks a lot of fun, but it's one of those things that's ruining games for me. It's one of those where they've got, like, the new Ghostbusters one coming out, for example. They've got a big world of Ghostbusters lore where they can explore it in a really good campaign. But they're just like, fuck it, we're not going to do a big campaign. We're just going to make it, let's try and get a quick cash in. So it's just one of those, oh yeah, we'll make a fucking 4-player online thing where you can catch ghosts. No campaign story. We'll just do that and just fucking chuck a $50 fucking price tag on it, which I think's bullshit, because I really like, don't get me wrong, online games are good, but if you've got a franchise like Killer Clown and Ghostbusters, do something with a campaign mode, man. Give us more to dig deeper into. But they say, oh yeah, you've got a 1-player mode on Ghostbusters 2, but you haven't. It's just the online mode, but you're playing with non-playable characters. That's all it is. Same with Killer Clowns, I believe that's doing that as well. There's no huge campaign mode. You can either be a clown or a innocent and you just fight each other. That's it, you know. And I'd like to see more out of the Killer Clown franchise. They've only got one film. There's loads more to explore. There's so much you can do with it, with a game, because we haven't got a second film yet. And I know they're trying to make one, but come on, give us something else to sink us teeth into, especially with how big that universe is. We could even go to their home world and find out more about them that way as well, instead of just, you know, running around shooting people with guns, which seems to be every fucking game nowadays. I'm just going to run around and shoot things, that's it. It's like, come on, man, give me some originality. I'm a big gamer, but I find myself going back to a lot of Nintendo stuff nowadays, because they have a more wider variety of things. They have the old classics, even their new stuff. A lot of it isn't just different versions of a franchise where you're just running around shooting people. I sound my fucking age, don't I now? Don't get me wrong, I am a big shoot 'em up person. I love Gears of War. Huge on that franchise. Me and my wife play it religiously. But yeah, I'm just tired of games like that. I don't know how you feel about it, but you know, if you're a patron, let me know. Just message me on there. I love chatting with you, you know. I really appreciate you so much. I do. I love creating content, and you've given me an outlet for it. I'm really appreciative of you for that. I really am. I love you to bits. And I think that's it for today. if you've seen any of these films, the ones that I haven't reviewed already on the channel, let me know. I really would like to talk to you about them. If you're looking forward to these games too, give me a update me. Let's have a chat about it. And fuck it, while I'm looking at Hocus Pocus. And who doesn't like Hocus Pocus? But I'm really disappointed about, streaming services these days with movies too. Like, I haven't talked about Prey, that's what I was going to do. And while I'm talking about streaming stuff, I would have loved to have seen Prey in cinemas. I feel like the COVID era of film is ruining cinemas now, because it showed that, I understand from a business point of view, you look at stats and seeing that more people, I believe, are watching things on streaming now, which is why a lot of films are going to streaming. It's like, more people would rather watch them at home. And I don't like that. I like the cinema experience. It's an event. It's something you can have a night out with your missus or your husband or your kids, It's great. You can experience it on a big screen, better sound quality. I really would have liked to have seen Prey do that. I loved Prey, by the way. It's my second favourite movie. And the franchise, I don't want to spoil it because it's new, so I just want to tell you that I enjoyed it. I want you to experience it yourself without any spoilers. Fucking phenomenal movie. I really like that it went back to a different era, which they should have done anyway, a different time period, instead of releasing these fucking pointless sequels, in my opinion. I liked Predator 2, by the way. Really enjoyed it. But yeah, streaming services like Hocus Pocus. Can you imagine? I would have loved to have seen that in the cinemas. The first one is fucking phenomenal landmark in Halloween movies. Fucking phenomenal. That would have been such a huge event if it was coming out in the cinemas. Fucking huge for families. But no, Disney are just slapping it on their fucking service just to try and get people to fucking subscribe to it, and I'm not subscribing to it for that. Hopefully they'll bring it out on DVD and soon, but I'm not doing it just to watch the film. Fuck Disney for that. Fuck them in their arse. Fuck Mickey Mouse in his fucking arse. So disappointed with that. But if you see it, let me know. I'm currently reading the Hocus Pocus 2 book, which is really fucking good, by the way. I did research it, and it seems like they're not doing the story from the book for the film, which I like. I do like, because it's like we'll get another version of it, so it doesn't kind of spoil the story if you've already read the book. You'll get a different version of Hocus Pocus 2. Two different versions of Hocus Pocus 2. Which I'm really looking forward to. I'm really happy that we're finally getting it, because people have wanted this for years, right? But fuck Disney, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Bollocks. But I will, if I do see it eventually, I'll review it on here for you. Yeah, that's my podcast. I really enjoyed talking about it. Please be gentle with me. It's the first time I've done this. I love you all. Have a fucking phenomenal Halloween season. I believe this episode will be out in September, so I'll be back in October doing another one. That's if I'm not travelling with my dad, but please be patient with me through October. After that, I will get a lot of content out again. But yeah, I love you all. Have a phenomenal day. Have a phenomenal week. Have a phenomenal month. I'll see you later. Love day. See thee.